Happy hump day, everybody. Happy hump day. Come on in and have a seat. Today is going to be a very interesting conversation that we want you guys to be a part of. I, of course, am your girl from Christal XO, and we are coming to a close in this season's Ready to Love, Make a Move. I definitely, oh my God, love from Japan. Absolutely. That is amazing. Thank you so much for letting us know that. My co-host and I have been talking pretty much throughout the day. I've actually talked to some more of you. And so tonight we want to have a real conversation about this viral clip that we posted that people are talking about. Before we get into it, of course, let me bring the man of the hour in. He is the voice for the male population tonight and every night on this channel. Welcome, Scorpio Moe.
What's happening? How you?
I'm good. It's midweek,
Yes, it is.
Midweek in 2024.
Hump day.
It's a brand new year, and we just trying to get through.
Oh, that is right. Today is the first, right?
Yeah, we are on the third day of 2024. How has your 2024 been so far?
Marvelous.
I love that. I love that for you.
Us.
Right. Absolutely. Well, hey man, I want us to have we have we usually have a good time on here. But today, I just feel like from the response from the clip that we played, that I posted, that I got a sneak preview of that from OWN. I posted it on Rolling Out, did a story on it for Collider, and I feel like we need to get into that. But before we do that, I want us to talk a little bit about. Are we on the right one? Yes, we are. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, am I doing the right thing? I want us to talk a little bit about what we saw last Friday for people that might have missed Friday's show. Right. We didn't see the guys. We only saw the ladies, right? So from your perspective, we saw the ladies and hold on. I was trying to do something and not. All right. So we saw ladies and we heard their side of the stories. I don't think anybody had a lot of faith in Zadia and Cam. But we saw Vernisha make her decision. We saw Ashley make her decision, and Sharice. So we knew going into this reunion, which was weirdly done, as we talked about on Friday, that the only people who were really together were Zadia and Cam. Were Ashley and Donald together, or they said they were going to be friends?
They're looking into it. I don't know. That sounds all shady to me, but yeah.
And then Sharice and Maurice. So this has already been a weird thing. What I wanted to show you guys, what I was trying to pull up, and I can't do that, is I did an article for Collider talking about this clip that went viral. And so I just, what I want to do is this. I want the chat to get interactive as you guys always do. I'm asking you guys to please like and share this one because I feel like because of the response, this is an issue that really bothered a lot of people. And whenever it bothers a lot of people, that means a lot of people relate to it. So Mo, what I'm going to ask, what I'm going to do, I broke this clip up into 3 segments, right?
Okay.
I want to play each segment and I want you first to respond from the guy's perspective because we saw a lot of people were really upset on both sides. A lot of people felt like Zadia was wronged. A lot of people felt like Cam, was basically playing her. You saw the faces of the other ladies were like really upset with him.
Right.
So I want us to break this clip up. And I want us to look at it from number one, from the male perspective. So I want you to answer first. I'm going to be quiet and let you answer from your complete perspective. And then I want to, hold on, I've got to feel like we're going to sneeze. And then I want to answer from my perspective as a female, right? Okay. Because I want some of the chat to give their perspectives as well. But I want us to, as a collective tonight, I want us to listen completely to the male perspective and then respond. Can the church say amen? Are we good with that?
Amen.
Okay, let's start with the first piece of this clip.
Dope person. I have gift for her, everything. Like,
what gift did you bring?
I'll show you.
Go get it.
Yeah, this is something I wanted to give you before, but yeah. Well, here's part of it. So,
are those pictures? What is it?
This is one.
Oh my God! Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Zadia, that's gorgeous.
Because you're laughing first.
Yo, you remember in the 70s and the 80s in the game shows when you didn't win, but you had parting gifts?
Yeah, a consolation prize.
This is the parting gift.
Mo, you're not helping because I would set you up for you to give us.
No, I'm gonna get to that, but I had to get that. That was the obvious part of it. Okay.
Can you go back to the part where he started out by saying, "I think she's a very dope person."
Yeah.
Can we start there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've said that before. So, what it really is a lot of times you didn't necessarily do anything wrong, but for whatever reason, I don't want to be here, or I don't want to do this. I can't really say you did anything wrong. You're a good person, but for whatever, I still don't know this man's reason, and hopefully we'll find out Friday. But that's what that means.
Okay.
You want me to go further?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. A lot of times that when we back away from things, right? This is everybody. This is not just men. This is everybody. We get to see things for what they really are once we have distance from it, correct?
Right.
So I think that's what he did. Maybe he felt the way in the time because it was pulling him away from whatever else he was trying to do. But now that you take away from it, I kind of miss her company. That doesn't mean I necessarily want to be involved with her in a serious relationship. But I missed her, phone calls maybe or visits, but I don't want to be anything. And I just missed that part of it. Happens.
Okay, I will speak as a woman because I talked to a guy friend of mine a little earlier today. You and I talked about this. And so I'm going to come from the perspective of a woman who's been in that position.
Okay.
All right. I think that a lot of times our brains don't compute the same thing. Right. So I think a lot of times if a man, just like you said just now, like a man, I'm missing that part of you.
Mm-hmm.
His actions, because a friend of mine said something important. He said, if you turn the sound off on this show, all you see is Cam's actions. And his actions are he continued to come back every week. He continued to, be around her. He continued to show up. He continued whenever she would, give him an opportunity to, end things, he did not necessarily take the opportunity. So if you stop listening and just go by actions, it doesn't necessarily, he didn't have actions of a man that was in heavy pursuit.
Right.
He also didn't have the actions of a man that wanted out.
Okay. But let me ask you this. She said herself, if this wasn't like not the cameras, this is real life, she wouldn't have went this far, right?
Yes.
So what makes you think he wasn't just showing up for the cameras, not for her?
Yes.
But the opposite.
See, I will say this. I think, and I don't know, but I feel like this is my honest perception of this. I feel like Cam was attracted to her.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they connected on that first night in some way, in some intimate way. We don't know how far it went. We don't know what. But anytime you spend the night with somebody overnight, even if you're just talking, that's still an intimate time.
Absolutely.
So I feel like there was some type of intimate connection achieved. And I feel like a lot of times women, and you and I have talked about this before, when a woman has went too far or experienced something that feels intimate, a lot of times you don't want to backtrack because it's like, I already gave it up. I don't want to, I don't want to make that just a free, I don't want to give out free coupons. Okay. I want to make sure that there's something there. I don't want to just be, I'm not a one night stand girl. If I did something, I want to try to give it a little bit more time for it to make sense. I'm just trying to show, and I'm telling you guys, I'm coming from the perspective of a woman who has done that a lot earlier in her life. I agree with everybody now. We talked about this every week. We felt like Cam was definitely, what his words were saying to her are exactly what happened in this scene. There still could be more, but I want to play another clip. So that was the first part of that clip to me was Cam is a photographer. If you look at his site, if you look at his page, there's a lot of beautiful women on his page, and he takes pictures of all of them. Like he's a photographer, and he seems to specialize in beautiful Black women. That seems to be his area of expertise. So I feel like him showing that was definitely, it was a plug for his business. I think he did want to give the pictures to Zadia because she looked beautiful. Now, you can't get mad. For everybody that got mad, you cannot get mad because Zadia did the photo shoot during the show. So it ain't like he just came up here with a shameless plug that didn't have any connection to the show.
Is that what they were saying?
A lot of people were just pissed. I mean, a lot of women were really upset. But it's like, is it okay for him to do the photo shoot during the show as long as he's going to be with you? But then if he's decided that's not for him, then he can't benefit at all. Like, that's hypocritical.
There you go.
That's hypocritical. All right, let's go to this second clip.
Messaging for you?
I just take it as a token, man, of what we've been through. We really built a connection. It's not fake. Like, that's real. Can circumstances change people's feelings? Because you're sitting here telling me how I should have been in the past. It felt like a relief when we stopped the whole process. I was like, dang, I don't got to keep doing all this stuff.
We got to pause. It felt like a relief when I left. I would have really loved for you to have expressed this a lot sooner than now. Especially after constantly asking and inquiring on where you stood.
Okay. It might be some editing things. I don't know, because it did sound crazy. I'm gonna wait Friday to really see, but he could have made it just relief on being on the production schedule. Not seeing, but on the production schedule. But if not, then that was a little cold. I ain't gonna lie.
I think he meant, because he said that it was too much time compared to what he had. He was missing work. He said that at least on 2 or 3 episodes. that he was missing work. And if you notice, I don't want to play the clip again, but if you notice, he said, I felt like a release when all this was over. And then she said, so you were happy when I left. That's not what he said. It's
That
not what he said.
production thing, I think, and I think she misread that.
Yes. I think that she did. I also can admit as a woman, and I'm trying to, I try to be as honest and authentic.
I am proud of you, Christal, because
I'm good.
You like me and your thing was always, when we go back and forth, the only thing I asked was, from us talking a male and female's perspective, is just fairness. I'm not saying come to my side. I'm not saying I just asked for fair. And I think you're being very fair. I applaud you for that. Thank you.
Well, I'm just trying to show, because I understand, and I actually made a comment on Camille's page earlier, and Camille is, Zadia's bestie. Yeah. And I made a comment on there because Camille was taken up for Zadia, right? And I said, number one, people have to realize that when you're on a reality show, you are, of course, being a representative of the hurt that other people have experienced. So a lot of times women are watching this and they're mad at Cam because they ended up going through something that was similar, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody has dealt with a guy that has told them they're not ready at some point in time. And if you haven't, you probably have that ahead of you. That's just a part of the dating phase. Sometimes guys are not ready. And a lot of times women think, if I show him the type of woman I am, he'll see how much of a wife I am, or he'll see how much of an asset I am, and he'll realize that. And what women don't understand, and I had to learn, is that it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with you not being the right fit for that man, which is fine. And we kind of talked about that a little bit when Zadia was at the event, under the mistletoe, and she just disagreed with me very much, because I said, if a guy is not consistent, then it means, if he started off heavy and then he slowed down, it means that he has changed his mind. And we all have the right to change our mind, especially when you're not married to someone, when you're not in a committed relationship, when you're just dating. Dating is the time when you have the right to change your mind. That is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to date, get to know a person, and then if that's not for you, then you backtrack. But the way you do it says everything.
And I would say, as a man, maybe we need to do a better job at saying that very thing. And a lot of times you don't want to seem like a bad guy, and you don't want to seem like you did this wrong. It might just be a feeling, it's not for me. And we need to.
I think that's so hard for women to take. I mean, at the event, the women didn't want to hear that. Right. They didn't want to hear that. Like, if he's attracted, because I think a lot of times the energy is from a physical attraction.
Okay. Right. Initially.
And then what happens is that wears off after the first few dates.
Thank you.
He gets used to you. He's like, okay. A lot of times men like to, oh, she's fine. I want to get to know. And then a lot of times my mother would say this, because my mom, my mother was beautiful. And I say that because I remember being a little kid and it was constantly men hitting on my mom. I would be like, good Lord. And my mom would tell me, she would say, he doesn't want anything. And I'd be like, Ma, he likes you. And she'd be like, Christal, he don't want nothing. And I didn't understand what she meant until I became an adult, and until I was in a situation where a man would hit on me. And I knew he was just attracted by what he saw. And there wasn't much left besides just that attraction. He might not have been ready. He didn't know the type of woman I am. I had 2 children. I was about my business. I'm not trying to just hang out and party. They don't want that. A lot of these guys that would hit on me, they don't want that. But they see something that may have a little round bump on it. For my mom, I remember my mom has really thick, huge natural hair that was to her behind. And that was rare. You don't really see a lot of Black women with hair to their behind. And I remember my mom told me, we would be walking someplace and she was like, he just sees the hair. And I would be like, but Mama, you're beautiful. And she was like, thank you, Christal. She's like, but he can't even see me. He just sees the hair and the shape. Because my mother was very serious about her shape. She would.
That's enough.
I'm just saying, I just want the ladies to understand where I'm coming from. She would measure herself 36, 24, 36 all the time. But she told me a lot of times the attention had no substance to it. So my point in telling that story is like, we get caught up in the fact that he's showing us all this attention, but does he intend to be in a serious relationship with you, or does he just intend to be in your face because he's attracted to you? Those are two very different things.
Sometimes we don't know. Believe that or not. Sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we see you and be like, yo, I just want to, but then you start to be around and hang out, and it's like, oh, it's more here. And then you start to, and then sometimes it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, not all the time, but sometimes we don't know.
Well, it's funny because I was talking to a 22-year-old today, and I said, there was another younger girl in the office, and I said, well, women don't know if a man is really interested or if he just wants to have sex. And he said, well, we all start out with just wanting to have sex. It always just starts with sex first. And I was like, that's the fun. Men and women think so different. A woman is like, well, he could look at me and see that I am an amazing woman and I'd be an amazing wife. And the guy is like, no, I just liked the way she looked and thought I wanted to hit. And then I ended up liking her after. Am I crazy? I just want you to, am I telling lies on y'all?
The fact.
So, all right, let's watch this third piece of the clip, and then I want to read some of the comments from our audience.
Dating anybody these days?
No, I'm single. Super single. I'm too busy. I've changed.
What does that mean?
I grew from this situation. I know now what I need to do to foster a relationship. Like being in it with you, I was like, I want it. I want to work on it and try to make it happen, make it work. Maybe it'll just it'll click. And for me, when we got the distance, it just didn't click like that. I'm supposed to be doing interviews for people right now that I need to hire to do my back office.
Okay. Okay. The super single, when you say that to a woman, what you're really saying is you too. I ain't with you neither.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's definitely what he was saying. But
I think he was a sacrificial, unfortunately. And I think we've all been, whether we knew it or not, we were the sacrificial person for this person to learn. Now they're going to carry that on to someone else. It's the circle of life, man. It is.
I think he was being honest. I think the biggest thing to me from that clip was I thought it was going to click. And when it didn't, now I've learned that, and he was trying to be honest and it was not received. And I understand why Zadia didn't receive it.
Here.
Say it again.
And now I'm going to apply that to my next situation. That's it. Hey, man, it's just the cold reality. And the other thing is that when you're being honest as a man, a lot of times you're not being taken serious. And then you figure out I'm better off lying. At least you'll accept that. He's telling her. This man is being honest, and look at the comments and the pushback he's getting for being honest. But women say they want an honest man. And we're not saying you got to agree with us, but you ain't got to dog me out for being honest.
All right, let me ask you this. So Ms. Hale says, then why sign up for the show? And I'm going to ask you this, Ms. Hale, you can respond. And then Mo, I want you to answer this. But if somebody signs up for the show, is that a guarantee that they have to like the person that they end up going out with to the point where they want to make a move with them? Like, I think when you sign up for the show, you're signing up for the possibility. But what happens is people meet people on the show and it's like, well, you're supposed to go out with me and like me enough to want to be with me for the rest of your life.
Right.
What? Doesn't make any sense. You're dating the person, you're trying to get to know them. So I think he did everything he was supposed to do to be on the show.
He showed up. That's all you really need to do.
He was honest with her. He did not lie to her. He told her every show. We were sick of it. Even she said that when she watched the show back, she was like, they keep having the same conversation. He never lied about what his situation was. He never, and even if you notice, even when he mentioned, he would say things like, you should, if you want to date other people, you should. He kept calling it friendship, and we'll see what. He never, ever said anything that would make her think that this was going to start a relationship. He never did.
He even, I don't want to say he pushed her on other people, but he was like, look, if you need to go and do other, I mean, come on, man. He was being honest.
I also want to say that it's weird because a lot of women, I saw some comments with people saying he was gay. And I'm like, y'all are wilding.
Here we go. See what I'm saying? It's like they're turning the thing. I just saw something where it's like, if a man have sex with a bunch of women, I think that means that he's gay. I'm just like, we're so desperate now to find an answer. We're just thinking the most ridiculous shit to say, just because we're trying to find an excuse to be like, or not, well, he just didn't like me. God damn. That's it. Or he wasn't feeling me like that.
Yeah, okay, let me ask this question, because it's ironic. Because Zalika says, no, he wasn't ready for a relationship. He should not have signed up on a Ready to Love platform. What do you say to that?
What season is this?
Like 8.5.
All right, 8.5, right? So at this point, everybody realizes what you can get out of this. He might not have been there for love. He might have been in there to promote himself. Seriously.
Everybody is. The women too. Let's don't act like the women aren't there to promote themselves too. Zadia said, it actually is good TV. This makes for good TV. This is what we do in real life. So everybody is there to promote themselves. Everybody, men and women. I wanted to say it's interesting because the guys that I would say were ready for a relationship are the guys that the women sent home.
Nobody wanted them. This is a mirror of life. Nobody wanted them. This is the shit that's really, really going on out there. Nobody's saying it. You're seeing it, ladies. You're seeing it. The guys that are willing to be with you, whether they're too short, they don't make enough, you don't want them. You don't want them. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. And these are the same men in another 10 years. Some of these women will circle back around the wagon and be like, what's up? How you doing? Nothing. Do you see what I'm saying?
In the block.
This is what happens.
I don't think that. I think that he really I think that he was very attracted to Zadia.
Yeah.
I think he agreed.
She's a pretty woman, but
yeah,
beauty don't keep you. Beauty only keeps suckers.
But I also think, can we also talk about the fact that, which I talked about in the article that is on, that I posted on Collider, shameless plug.
Plug it.
Yeah, no, I also said that, can we also mention that Zadia, so the show is called Make a Move.
Right.
But it was for the women to make a move because they started in New Orleans, and the show was supposed to be these women find out if you like a guy enough to make a move. Correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct. Now, when it came to Zadia and Cam, she was the only one that was like, well, you should move to DC. And he said very clearly, I don't see myself leaving New Orleans anytime soon. He said he did not see going to DC as a possibility, to which Zadia said, well, you shouldn't say that if you haven't been there yet.
And what was like, she kept, you need to come and lead. She kept pushing that.
But that wasn't even the show. The show was about the women making a move. And if you're trying, this man he was honest about the fact that his business was just getting off the ground and he didn't see himself moving anytime soon. So realistically, because someone said they didn't think he was ready to be in a relationship. I think that he was ready to date a woman on his own time, but not one that had all this was not going to work for him. He wasn't moving. She's not moving because Zadia was clear that she doesn't have any intentions of moving from DC. She was trying to get him to come there.
Right.
So, you know, I think that we have to look at all the little signs that would have said to a man, okay, this is probably not going to work.
Where's the accountability on her end once he kept saying it and she kept picking him every week? What about that?
I don't think that weird, but I will say, I don't think that's what most people don't feel like the woman had any accountability. And all I can say, because I empathize because I've been there before. But when I was there before, it was my fault. It was my fault because the guy was clear. He was clear. It was not, I'm trying to pull this, it was not about the relationship. He didn't want that from the beginning. So,
and even if he was, I don't know if he did, but if there was a sexual relationship or whatever, just because he keeps doing that, please don't think that that means he wants to stay, ladies. Please don't think that. I know it sends mixed signals. I get it. I know, but
I'm gonna put this in the chat. I'm gonna put the link to this article in the chat. I just think that we have to acknowledge that, sometimes the only person responsible for you is you. And I think as women, we will get a lot less heartbreaks if we take accountability and we listen. My mother would always tell me, listen to what a man says. Because what happens is a man will say, well, just like with Cam and Zadia, well, I don't see myself moving anytime soon. She counters, well, you haven't seen it yet. You don't know. How do you know if you haven't seen it?
Because some women come off very dismissive to what men feel. I'm going to say it. Yes. Very dismissive on what we think and what we feel, unless it coincides with what she's already thinking and feeling.
What she wants. I get it because I've done that myself. I've done it myself. But I'm also, and then when you have a broken heart, it doesn't feel good. And then you get upset with the guy. But I think we have to be, let me also say this. I think that a mature man would have left. I think that Cam is not, say it again.
Real life, yes.
In real life, a mature man would have left.
Absolutely.
But I think it takes a man a time to get to the maturity to where he could say, you know what, even though I know she likes me, I'm not in this place. And I'm okay if she gets mad at me. I'm okay if I'm the bad guy. Because anytime you don't want what the other person wants, you're the bad guy. Either way.
And that man is usually about in his 40s.
Maybe pushing 50. But I mean, either way, because when a man likes a woman and the woman doesn't like him back the same way, or she doesn't want to be the wife that he wants her to be, they get up, they don't like it either. Look what Tabari. Tabari was big mad.
Yes, he was.
Miss Pretty Amazing says, Mo, would you have left? Good question.
I probably would have hit it 1 or 2 more times, then I would have been out.
And that is honest, ladies. That is
real. I'm just keeping it real. Yeah, would have left.
Let me ask you this. I'm laughing because I do know that that's honest. I can remember you saying I can remember you telling me that I got to hit a few more times.
Well, I always like to know the last time is the last time. I'm not like that anymore. I'm reformed, ladies.
He doesn't talk about this. Was back, when I first got back to Atlanta, and we were. It was a lot of very honestly, very honest conversation. But you used to always say, I got to hit it 1 or 2 more times. So ladies, would that have been better?
Right? See what I'm saying? See how that sounds, right?
Yeah.
So if he didn't want to be there, what should he have done, ladies? He should have ended it, correct?
Okay. Yeah. I just don't know. I would like for some of the ladies in the chat or men as well. What's up, C Boogie? To let us know what they think Cam should have did differently without saying that he should have left. Because I promise you, I promise you, that production was telling them that he shouldn't do that. I promise you, production. This made for a good show.
I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that.
Makes for a good show. They are okay with, you know, somebody looking crazy. It makes for a great show. So I don't think production wanted him to leave. I think production wanted the women to be the ones to kick the guy off, and Zadia was not going to kick him off. And y'all were saying, you know, he should have left. He should have left. He should have left. I asked the other night, like, if your job, if you said, Mo, you walked into work and you were like, look, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep coming back. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do the hours that you guys have. I don't have time to do these hours. I'm no longer going to be able to work a 40-hour work week.
Okay.
I just don't have the time. I don't know when I'll be able to come in. Right. Mm-hmm. And your job said, okay, we're going to keep you around. We're going to keep paying you full salary. We're going to keep you around.
They're going to be low key finding my replacement.
But are you going to leave, or are you going to keep coming in and getting that money? Who leaves? Like,
right. Unless you got another job.
Unless you got another job. But if you're getting the money, like for Cam, Zadia, he told Zadia, look, I don't think I have time for this. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm very busy. This is too much. And then Zadia said, I'm going to keep you around.
He left it open for her to see other people.
So what do y'all want him to do outside of saying, look, girl, I don't want to date you anymore? And I don't even think that was true. I think he did want to see her. I think he just didn't want to be in a relationship.
Y'all wanted him to cuss her out? Like, he was being a gentleman about
it. They
it.
wanted him to leave, but I'm just saying, like, there have been very few people leave television. Y'all want him to be different than, how about this? How about all the ladies? Because we know a lot of them ladies weren't really feeling the guys. Should Vernisha have left? Should Vernisha have just said, forget it, and left?
What was the woman on the Dallas show that left on her own? She did the stand-up thing. I respect that.
Oh, Lee.
There you go.
And Lee, that happens very seldom.
Lee left. I respect that.
Yeah, she's dope. She's really dope, and she's a little different. But most people don't leave because they don't want to leave they don't want to leave the opportunity. Exactly. Either way, women don't leave ready to love. Ready to love. There's no connection for them, so they leave because they gonna get played if they don't.
You know how you know that? Because they were on Ready for Love, and now they're on this.
Well, yeah, but this was not about, okay, Tina Marie says, Christal, what should Cam have done? I think Cam did what, I don't see him, I think he told her that. I think if he was a little bit more mature, he could have told her, you know what, I don't want to, for me, I just don't want to be in a relationship right now. I think that he could have said that to her, but I don't even know. Anytime a man tells you that you should see other people, I mean, that's almost the same thing. But I think if he had maybe made it a little bit clearer, because he knew that she really, really liked him a lot. I think. I could be wrong. Zadia may be like, Christal don't know what she's talking about. I don't know. But I think that he did everything that he could do. I think that he's not necessarily a smooth talker like our friend Scorpio Moe here. So I don't think he had the language to be slick and smooth. And really, to your point, Mo, sometimes women appreciate a lie more than they do the truth. Because I think the fact that he said, in that clip, he said, I was waiting for it to click and it just didn't. I don't think he was lying.
That was a real answer.
But I think, give us what you would have said, Mo.
When you're waiting for it to click, that means I really don't have no reason to dislike you. But I don't want to be in a relationship this way or at all. But right. I dislike you. And that's what that really means. And it's like, I'm waiting for it to click. I'll be around you. Well, the more I'm around you, maybe something's going to be like, you know what? I can do this. And it's not being pushed that way.
Yeah.
And that's a real thing. And I've been there and I waited for something. I even think I told you that. I was like, yo, I get this friend vibe when I'm around this woman. I don't get, this romantic. I don't get this sexual. I don't get anything from her but a friend. And she did wrong with me. I'm going to go out with her one more time. Mm-hmm. And we just never had that energy. They seem to have a little bit more of that energy, but who's to say what's going on in that man's mind and in his life? Like, this man has a choice. and he made a decision. And the only thing he didn't tell us, like, get out of my face. You know what I mean? That's how nice guys tell women that. That's how that goes.
I think so. I think so. I want to say that a couple people have asked us about interviewing Cam. We definitely want to. We definitely are trying to, and hopefully we'll be able to do that soon. So we definitely, would love to have him come on, because I think it's important for the guys to have their side. And it could be that we're wrong. We may not. You can let him go.
Hey, this reunion might turn out to be something else at the end, and we all get fooled.
Yeah, it could be. Now, I want to ask you something, Mo, because we got a lot of questions. Our last live Friday had a lot. It was a lot of comments on that. One of the things that people talked about was, and I'm trying to interview all the guys. I want to definitely talk to all the guys, Tabari, all of them. So we will definitely keep you guys posted. Make sure you're subscribed so you'll get the notifications when we get that going. And we need you guys, please share with people about this show. I know that we have a good group of people that are loyal, but we definitely want to grow the channel and appeal to more. So please make sure that you are subscribed and that you're sharing the conversations here, because we usually have a great conversation, even with the chat. So another thing that came up was Vernicia's clothes, right? And the fact that a lot of people said that she was dressed very provocatively.
Right.
Oh, I like that. In the words of Tupac, you can run the red light, but pay attention to the street signs. That's good. That's good. Events by Lachey. That's good. Good. I post that up there. All right. First of all, okay. No one is slut shaming Zadia at all. We're not. Mike says, can we stop making a big deal of her sleeping with him as giving slut? First of all, no one said it was a bad thing. I don't.
My longest relationship was from. Listen, man, that's not slut shaming.
That's not slut shaming. Slut shaming is if we were blaming her for that. Mo even said that he doesn't care if a woman sleeps with him on the first date. It's not a bad thing. Didn't you say that?
Definitely did.
Y'all gotta stop. Don't be so sensitive. We're not slut shaming her. That's not even she's a grown ass woman. Like, grown people do grown things. I always say this. I do not sleep in the bed with grown men. And not do something. Like if I'm asleep in the bed. I hate when women are like, well, I just wanted to lay down and cuddle.
Hey, I told you somebody did to me. I was woof.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe in just sleep. I don't do slumber parties with grown people.
And let me be real clear. I didn't kick her out of my house because we didn't have sex. I kicked her out because I told her I was going to kick her out. But she got into my bed naked and told me to hold her and told me beforehand we wasn't having sex. And I said, okay, cool, but I don't want to hold you. And then she was like, why not? I was like, I don't want to hold you if you're not. I'm cool. You can lay there, but I don't want to hold you. And she was like, well, I bet you if I let you, if we had sex, you want to hold me. And I was like, not really. And you can get out. And then I had to commit and go all the way with it because she said something else, so I had to stand on what I said.
Did you kick her? So you kicked her out, Mo?
Swear to God, I kicked her out.
I believe. Well, I remember that.
I don't want to be real clear, ladies. Not because she didn't want to, because she wanted. I just thought, why would you be in the bed with a grown man? Like, I'm not the dude.
No. Y'all know, women know what that is. We know what that is. You want her. You're tempting. You're trying to seem like you don't want sex, but you really do, right?
No, what I'm saying is, I'm not going playing that game. Like, we're not going to do that. Like, me hold you. Why would I be spooning you naked and we can't? I ain't doing that shit.
I ain't doing it either.
Thank you.
I don't get in the bed with grown people. I don't go on trips. If a man asks you to go on a trip and you're not sleeping with him, then you don't need to go on that trip. Because what are we doing on an exotic island? What are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing? Okay, so let's go back. My big puppy wants to come say hello. Bye, Kane. So this is a question that came up that a lot of people had something to say about. Were really upset because we were talking about how Vernicia was dressed, and there's nothing. I said Vernicia should dress how she wants to dress. Vernicia is very confident, and I feel like what she does on purpose, and that's how she wants to look. And I don't think She cares what anybody thinks, as she told y'all the other day. But some people in the chat were saying in the comments, and this is not any of the live chat, none of you intelligent people in the live chat, this was some people that left comments afterwards, were saying, you know, why would a man not want to go out with his woman if she was dressed provocatively? They were basically like acting like Mo was being a punk and saying, well, are you, you know, it just was. So I want you to explain that. We were talking, because there are a lot of people that felt like Bernicia was dressed provocatively. There are a lot of women actually that have come on and said, well, I don't think a man would take her seriously. I just want to go on the record for saying, I think it depends on the man. Yeah. I know now, I may not dress, I'm not very like, I'm not a person that's going to show everything, but my husband, I told you, he'll be like, he wants me to dress more provocatively. He doesn't, you know, and I remember I posted this picture on Facebook and it had cleavage, right? I got a C cup. I ain't spilling over, but I got enough to fill up a cup. So my aunt, my aunt said, this was before I was married. She was like, you're never going to get a husband dressing like that. You know, a man isn't going to take you seriously. And I was just like, first of all, you don't, you know, all the men around me respect me and they do take me seriously. I'm not receiving what you're saying. It was my aunt that said that. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm seeing both sides. I understand why people are saying that because my aunt told me that, but I also am going to wear what I want to wear, but I probably ain't going to have my whole titty out. Right. So I want you to explain what you meant. And I also want you to address what the comment said about basically a man that doesn't want his woman dressing like that is insecure and all that good stuff.
Right. I mean, that's a cheap word to throw out there. Anytime a man says something or questions or has any type of boundaries, it's like he's insecure. Like, it's getting old. Stop it. It's getting old. But I will say this, and most men know this, like, you put your men in position. Now, it might not happen that night, depending on where you're going, right? But if you're wearing certain things, and it could cause problems. Now, women say they want to protect her, correct? All right, so part of me being protective is giving you information before we go out that this is not a good idea. What about that part? This is part of the protection. I'm giving you a verbal opinion and be like, I told a woman, she had a see-through thing on, we was going out, and I was like, nah. Especially where we were going, I knew, you know, we're going to be in a situation, going to be a lot of, you know, guys go out in groups. And let's say we're walking by, she's going to the bathroom or whatever, and these dudes are saying something slick. Now, I'm in a position to do what? Three of them, it's just me. It's not about being a punk. It's about, first of all, what is your self-respect? Because when you're out like that, you represent us. And us don't need to be wearing.
Us don't need to be wearing that.
Yeah. Like, so, you know, it's just crazy. It's like if I got gray sweatpants on and I'm half erect, is that cool for me to be walking around and I'm with you? Is that cool? That all the you see what I'm saying? It's like, what is just for me if you're sharing it with everyone? And I'm not saying you can't be it's nothing about being sexy. There's a line. And after a while, it's like, okay, now you're not going to have to deal with this. I'm going to have to address this. So at that point, you're not even looking out for me is not the word, but you're not even caring in what position you put me in. There was a situation in Atlanta years ago where there was some people, a young man and this lady were out on a date. They stopped at a Christal's restaurant, and some guys, they were standing in line. Some guys were behind them making some comments. They all high about his girl's body and what she had on. Not so much of her body, but what she had on. Long story short, he was killed because he tried to, hey, don't talk to my woman like that. Who are you? And then they got into it. Boom, gone.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you should be able to wear whatever you want. You should be able to do whatever you want. But we're in a crazy world. Things happen. I'm giving you information.
Yeah.
You're a protector. I'm protecting you by telling you that's not a good idea. What is like, you're insecure. Lead on women. On women to get you killed and put you in danger. I'm telling you, lead on women alone.
I remember I've been out with guy friends, not even in provocative clothes. You and I went out. You remember that? We went out to, it was me, you, and two of my other girlfriends went to a bar here.
I know. I'm glad. I thought you forgot about that story. I meant to bring that up. I know you talking about that.
Yeah.
At the time, it was called something else.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about.
And so, I want us to talk about this just because I think people need to know. And you weren't even my dude, but it got to the point because the guy, and I'm not ever dressed provocatively, but I will say this, and I said this the other day about Vern. When you have a certain type of figure, a lot of times it can look provocative, even if you're not trying to. Now, Vern it may be a little over the top. I mean, you know, maybe that black outfit might have been a little bit over the top. Where why Valentine said, "I don't think Vern's attire is provocative. It's her body. If I wore the same 5'7" and 120 pounds, no one would comment. I don't make much noise."
To your body then,
huh?
Like, in this excuse, I gotta dress according to your body then.
Well, but I will say I could buy, yeah. But I mean, if you got certain lumps and bumps, it's hard to hide. And some, because I wasn't dressed provocatively that day.
Not you. But
yeah, but I'm just saying, I'm just giving an example. So we were at this, it's like a sports bar, and a guy was trying to talk to me, and I didn't want to be bothered. And he saw that I was at a table with Mo and two other girls. And he basically made a comment against Mo, because now Mo is my friend. If that had been my dude, it'd have been an all horrible situation, but it almost escalated with that.
We were at the bar. Your friends were seated at the table. Me and you were at the bar trying to find your friends. And It was him and two other guys.
Yep.
And he said something, and I heard him. And I can't act like I didn't. I was like, what? You da-da-da-da-da. And you was like, Mo, let's just move away from here. So we sat down. Maybe 20, 30 minutes later, the guy starts walking towards me, and I'm sitting down. Mind you, I'm the only guy at this table.
Yeah.
Now, I had a bottle or whatever it was in my hand, and I've seen him coming over towards me. He leans into me. I'm holding the bottle and thinking about trying to I said, I'm going to hit him in the head. The back door is behind me, and I'm out this door. But he came over to me, and the man apologized. He was like, yo, brother, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for da-da-da, whatever you said.
Mm-hmm.
But that could have went a totally different way.
Yeah. And I think, and I just want to say why Valentine, I wish I was 5'7" and 120 pounds. I would give anything to trade bodies with you right now. That is a dream for me. I think that everybody is attracted to different things. I think that you can wear certain things that draw attention to tits and ass. Just to be honest, if you're drawing attention to tits and ass, that's going to be TNA attention, which is usually, and Mo can correct me if I'm wrong. I asked a guy one time, what is it? Why do you guys like, big butt so much? He said, well, when we look at it, it's like a porn is going on in our head. Now, all right. So, and I was like, okay, that's wild. But a porn is going on in your head. So the less you wear and the more you accentuate that, you're going to get a lot more attention. We all know that. If you get attention and you got your dude with you, what is he supposed to do with that? I was out with one of my other friends, Jamal. We were at a music event here. I had on a dress that was kind of form-fitting. And thank you so much, Black girls getting their shift together. And this guy was like, damn. And Jamal was like, what dude? Like, what, you see me here? Like, because we literally that could have been my dude. It wasn't, but it could have been. So, Jamal was like,
but because you get the attention, you like the attention, you can't pick what that attention means, lady. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get it, and it's going to mean different things to different men.
I found, for me, and again, I have a lot of guy friends that tell me a lot of stuff. For me, I feel like the attention that comes from being half naked is never the attention that I want. Now, again, I got a husband that wants me to be half naked, right? But
let me not say that. Trust me, he ain't gonna play when something do happen.
But my husband be liking to turn up. He be looking for a reason. He about 6'2" and 250. He ready. He looks for he wishes a Negro would. So he probably would enjoy fighting, but I don't, that's not my personality. But he's always like, I like that. So I'm not saying that she can't get a guy. I think she should get the guy that she wants if she's comfortable dressing like that. And obviously she is, because that's how she dresses. So it's really none of our concern. And I think that we have to understand that people use the type of bait of the kind of fish they want to catch. So
great point.
Leave it be. Leave it be. That's what she wants to catch. And that's what
I don't know if it's true. Somebody said that she has some work done, allegedly. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if that's so, I guess that would be a reason to show off your work, the work that you got. You know what I mean? I get it.
At this point, everybody's showing off everything. Everybody's showing off everything. What I'm going to say is, I think Bernicia is such a beautiful woman that she was going to get attention regardless. I also feel like, and we've talked about this before, a lot of times when I was single, because I don't get any attention now. Just want to make sure I say that loud on my YouTube for my husband to hear. But when I was single, I got more attention when I was dressed down than when I was not. I got a lot of damn, that kind of stuff. Yes. But like men that were like trying to talk to you, usually when you got natural hair pulled up in a ponytail, sweatpants on.
I told you what that was.
Yeah. Not whoop that trick. You know what? It just, and gun bosses in the house.
I told you what that was.
What is that? Explain to the chat what that is.
A lot of times when men see your base, when we like your base, we know at that point, and we like that, we know it only goes up. When you're dolled up, in our mind, a seasoned man, we're starting to think, how much is that going to come down?
Mm-hmm.
But so when you're running into the drugstore real quick or whatever, and you just doing, and you're wondering why the guys talk to you and still trying to holler at you, it's because he likes your base, and there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you all dialed up, that's when you should be concerned. And then you was like, well, he was going hard at first, but then after I stayed on this house and I took off my makeup, he stopped calling me. That's why. That's why.
I don't think, hey, you 7 her 3. She says they use that chilling with no makeup on mess as reverse psychology, so you continue to be low maintenance. I don't think that's true.
That is
all of them. Now there may be some, but I do think that, and I will say this about men too.
That is what?
If you want a man wants a woman that he can wake up in the morning with and like the way she looks. If she got to add a lace front and lashes and contour and plump up the lips, what is we doing? Same thing with a guy. You can see a guy out. A lot of times girls are attracted to a guy because he's driving a certain car. Baby girl, he got to get out the car. You can't take the car into the house with you. He has to get out the car. He got to take them clothes off. Yeah. So, and that's why I be like, I like to look at the dude. You be like, what is that going to look like? I don't want to be in the bed with something that I don't.
That's all that is. That's all that is.
So, I just wanted us to touch on those things because I think that was a big deal about this past season. The last thing I want to talk about, and this is a conversation that you and I had with a friend of ours at the Christmas party.
Yeah.
So, because we talked about Zadia, we talked about Bernicia. I want to talk about Sharice and Ashley really quick before we get out of here.
Okay.
For Sharice, my whole thing has been that I felt like Sharice had a softness underneath this hard exterior.
Mm-hmm.
And a good friend of ours was like, nobody has time to wait to dig underneath all of that, because there are people out here that are already ready already.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, yikes, that's a lot. And then her behavior on these last few episodes, specifically the reunion, was to me just very, very unattractive, right?
Right.
Regardless if she doesn't like Zadia, you cannot like somebody, but you don't need to respond to them in that way. I thought it was really unattractive. And I want to ask you, from your perspective with Maurice and Charisse, because obviously Maurice is not stupid. He's a seasoned gentleman, right? He's a lawyer. He's very successful. So he's seen Charisse's personality.
Right.
He knows that, that what there is to that. What would it take a man, in your opinion, to be okay with that? Or would he be okay with that hard and sometimes volatile, not physically volatile, but like, over the top personality like that?
At first, what it seems to be that as long as it's not aimed at him, we tend to think it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Have an experience where it turns on you and it's just like everybody else. They're like, you wake up, you're like, oh, okay. But if you think you can, as long as it's not pointed towards you, you can deal with it. She's doing that to them. It's going out. It's not coming in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If he's a seasoned man, he should know that by now. Eventually, it will spill over to your plate.
I definitely think that. I've always told you that.
Yeah. Well, I've learned it from the one young lady I was talking to. And it happened to me. I said, as long as she was doing it to everybody. And then when it happened to me, I was like, oh, she got me. And that was.
I point out that she was doing it to me. And you were okay when she was doing it to me.
Once again, I said, as long as she wasn't doing it. Stop. No, but at the time, I think we known each other, a year?
Yeah.
We weren't good. We was getting to be good friends.
That's true. We were really good friends then.
We was working on it, but
no, that's not.
She was in my life, and it was just kind of, and she did that thing.
You didn't have my back at all. I'm just want to say.
Oh, I did have your back, and I gave you the information about her, and you foiled my plan on getting my stuff back.
But I'm just saying, you're supposed to have my back as my friend because I wasn't doing anything.
You didn't know she wasn't doing anything directly to you. I told you she
was talking, and you had me being nice to her, and she was talking bad about me. What?
That's a long time ago. But listen,
Mo was being a Donald. Yes, he was being a Donald, but I wasn't.
Oh snap! No, I was not.
You were being a Donald.
Towards me, I didn't have a complaint about what she was doing to me.
You had little complaints about her, but not anything big at that point, but they got bigger afterwards.
So her whiny voice. I just hated her voice.
Jesus Christ. I do think you should apologize.
Wait, on the record, I'm taking my glasses off for this. Okay, check this out. Christal.
Yes.
Though this was about 18 years ago, I apologize, Christal. But I did ask you not to do something before I gave you the information. And little do y'all know, Christal is, when Drake was saying Twitter fingers, the Meek Mill, and the gay side, Christal is the original. I told her some information, and she went and told this lady before I retrieved some of my items at that woman's house.
Did she keep the items?
No, but my car was down, and I took a cab over there. Gave me my stuff and was like, I'm leaving, and let me sat outside her house. And then I think your ex-husband came to get me. I don't think, I know he did. I called him.
In my defense, okay, I appreciate your apology, and I accept your apology. And I feel like I needed that because I did not get it all these years. But I do want to say that to defend myself to the chat, that what you told me, I could not possibly hold because no, I had been so nice to this lady, and whenever she would come to an event that was for you, I would go and escort her in, and I was almost like, assisting her because, I was trying to always be.
You always remixing stories. You're taking it too far now.
No, because you know what? We did an event with Job Corps, and I went out and got her, brought her in, and and then I find out that she's talking slick, and it was not. It was very disrespectful to me, and I had been nice to her, and I could not hold it. I couldn't hold it. It would not hold. Okay, all right. I appreciate that, and that did make me feel better about our friendship because that was a low moment.
I don't even deal with, obviously, I don't deal with that woman.
But you dealt with her years later.
I was just hitting it a couple of times after that.
She said a lot of mean things about me, and then years later, you were like, "I think I was coming over or something," and you admitted that she was coming because you didn't want me to run into her. And I was like,
He used to do that thing. I'm saying I was in a different place in my mind. I was different in different place in my life.
In any case, what was I didn't forgot what my other my other point was.
And Maurice.
Yeah. So okay. So that's the thing with Sharice and Maurice. It could be that I think this is a possibility. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but I do think that if Sharice is in a loving relationship, that could soften some of her.
The first loving relationship she needs to be in is with herself.
Ooh, not Mo dropping gems.
Let's start there, and then but start there.
Okay. All right, let's go to Ashley. Yeah. I saw earlier that somebody said that, okay, Ashley exposed her mean girl talking crazy to Sharice. It was uncalled for. I didn't.
No.
What?
I'm team Sharice. I'm team Ashley on this one too.
You've been team Ashley for all the season.
Because the last two, I'm not mad. I get it. She was responding. She was holding that lady, holding that woman. I keep saying that lady. I think that pisses people off, and I'm probably going to say it more. But she was holding this woman and consoling her, and then she flipped on her, and then she got at her. So I'm not. I ain't mad at her for that.
I think she went too far.
No, I don't. She was holding her hand, petting her, and then she flipped on her. Come on, man.
He said petting her.
I'm saying, man, nah.
I do agree. She wasn't paying that mouth herself.
She responds, and y'all don't like her response. If y'all don't like her response, there shouldn't be an action. Okay,
well, let me ask you this: did you like her? Because she was really upset with. Cam in that clip.
Okay,
Ashley was really upset with Cam.
Okay, she might have crossed the line. Okay, I got to see it again. I'm pretty sure part 2. Okay, now Cam ain't do nothing. She not. So you might be right on that.
I think that Ashley always wants to. She makes it a moment. She's trying to make it a moment, right? But to me that was just too. It's just too much, and I don't feel like Cam was saying anything mean.
He wasn't.
I don't feel like he was saying anything mean that we should have been that upset about. Like
being honest gets you, fellas.
But you know what? You should be honest even still.
Yeah, all right.
You should still be honest, even if it doesn't get you the response, because at the end of the day, you have to look in the mirror with yourself, right?
Hey, I looked in the mirror the first time when I told the truth. After that, I'm lying.
But you know what? I think that men should tell the truth because a lot of you have daughters, and you're gonna want someone to be honest with your daughter.
Got it. But if my daughter is hard-headed, look, I can only tell you but so much. I provided you the tools. You not listening.
I think that as you mature, you don't want to be a part of hurting somebody, and you realize that I may have to tell you something that's going to hurt now, but at the end of the day, I didn't do more, right?
But why are you convincing me when I'm telling you the truth? Why are you convincing me of my truth that is something else? What about that part?
Well, I think that in that situation, if it was real life, it would have been good for Cam. I just believe that people should ghost people. I think that Cam would have needed to just ghost somebody.
And of ghosting if necessary, yes.
And I know that sounds bad, but I just don't think that if you tell a person I'm kind of busy, because it sucks for someone to just be like, oh, I don't like you like that. I like you, but I don't like you. I don't want to do that.
I mean, well, not even that, but I'm telling you, and you're trying to convince me that we should work it out, or you don't really get to know me. I know me. I don't gotta get to know you. I know me enough that this is not what I want.
I don't do it. And somebody said, Miss Pretty Amazing said ghosting is immature. I mean, okay, so you tell me, what do you how should you handle that? Should you tell the person, I'm not attracted to you that way? And have you ever heard that? I have not had a man say to me, I'm just not attracted to you like that, and I don't want to hear it. I'm glad I've not heard it.
If you have sex, I don't think you should ghost nobody. That I don't do. If you have sex, I don't think you should ghost. But if you ain't,
what if you had sex and the sex was really bad? Like really bad.
I would tell. Yeah, I had that conversation. That's a tough conversation, boy. Because once again, they're trying to convince you that something else.
You had a girl say, think about it for 48 hours. Like, girls just don't take. You should just not have said anything. Can you just think about it for 48 hours? Like,
she said, yeah. And she said, if I don't hear from you, then I know what's up. I guess she knows what's up.
But I'm just saying, y'all that are saying that ghosting is bad. I do have communication skills. I just don't. And I'm okay with what I'm telling you guys is I would rather be ghosted than for someone to say, Christal, I'm just not attracted to you like that.
What about listening skills?
I don't want to hear that. And that may make me, I would take, maybe I'm immature for hearing that. I'm sure that my colleague Kojo would say that I am immature for that. And I'm okay with being immature in that way, but I don't want to hear someone tell me why they are not attracted to me. I don't need to hear that. That's none of my business. Other people's opinions of you are none of your business, right? So I don't need to hear that. Now, if someone wanted to share that with me, I would definitely, not let them know it bothered me. But I don't need to know that. I'm fine.
Games with you, is it not cool to ghost them? You know how people play them phone games and that text game and they be doing all that? And they used to be like, I ain't doing all this, and just ghost them. That's not wrong. That's not
Now say it again. Say it again.
You know how some people in the beginning stages, they play the phone games and the texting games. I'm not gonna call him, I'm away from him. Or you call them and they see it and they delay the response time. I text them, like, do all that type stuff. It's still not cool to ghost them. I'm saying that to whoever said it's not.
I don't know, because I don't see, this is the thing. And I guess for me, I have never been traumatized by being ghosted, because I just assumed that, he not into me, and it's okay. Probably was relieved, because probably I wasn't into him either. I've never, my feelings have been mostly hurt when the relationship, I've never been ghosted in a relationship. I would say that. And I've never ghosted anybody I've had a relationship with. We're talking about dating. Right. If you go on a date and you go on a couple of dates and y'all don't like each other, then just stop talking. Like, it's not that serious. Everything is needs to be a drawn out, dramatic conversation. And when I have talked to guys about, then, it was uncomfortable.
If I feel like I'm chasing you, I'm out. I'm let you know right now.
Yeah, I don't think, maybe people have a different definition of ghosting, but to me, if we've gone out on one or two dates and we didn't, I thank you so much. I always say thank you for taking me out. I always say thank you. I always, show appreciation for whatever is done for me. But you know what? I remember I went out with this dreadful man he was in school. He was in med school. He was in his last, doing his rounds to be in med school. And he was so full of himself. I probably told you about this. He asked me on a date, and I didn't go for a long time because he was a little bit younger than me. And then finally, when I agreed, he wanted to take me on a picnic to Piedmont Park. So he comes to pick me up, and I have on shorts and tennis shoes. And he says, "Oh, I thought you was going to get dressed up for me, put on some heels and a dress." And I was like, "At Piedmont Park?" So you know me, I'm always usually in a dress on a date, but because we were going to Piedmont Park, so I put on a sundress and some sandals that kind of had a little wedge on them. I was like, and this dude sat there and waited for me to go get dressed. I was just irritated.
You changed your clothes?
I did because he made that.
Nigga. Oh, my bad. I don't mean to say that word, but for real?
Yes, this is in my early first got divorced. Now I'd be like, but anyway, so we went to the park and he was just so full of himself. And when I got back to my car, I didn't want to, I was just like, I'm never talking to him again. I thanked him for the date and that was it. So if that's a ghosting, I mean, he called a couple of times, I didn't answer.
After you got dressed, what he was like, now that's better.
Yeah, he was. He was like, that's what I'm talking about. Forget you, Mo. Forget you. Oh, I was irritated. I was super irritated. He kept telling me about, all his, he was just so impressed with himself because he was, getting ready to be a doctor and of course, thinking that he's the prize. So I was just like, I'm good. Okay, y'all. I admit I made some mistakes. This was when I was a lot younger. I had just got divorced. I did not know how to date, and Atlanta was teaching me some things. But yeah, I'm not. No. Now that would have been a whole different story. But yeah, I did. I went, and I was just like, why wouldn't you have suggested a different date if you wanted me to get dressed up? Like, but I had a bad attitude for the rest of it. So ghosting was the easiest thing to do. I'm not going to keep entertaining. It's, well, because you came to my house and asked me to change clothes, I don't really like you. And then I'm not really attracted to you because you're not as tall as I would like. Like, come on, I'm not doing all that. Someone said, how do you post ways if you're not interested, Mo?
Well, we just said ghosting is one of them. It depends on where we're at. If it's the first date and
I'm not doing that with you, God.
I might be doing that. But other than that, every situation is different. But in the beginning, if I took you out and if I just wasn't feeling it, and then we're playing phone tag and I leave it alone, to me, that's a form of ghosting. To me, the ghosting is if you keep calling me and I'm ignoring you.
Yeah, get a grip. Huh? Who are these people? Get a grip.
I don't know what I'm saying. You didn't take me out. I took you out. Like, it's cool.
So did the girls, when you take a girl out, does the girl say thank you for the date?
Most of them.
Okay, so if she says thank you for the date and you don't like her, what's your response?
No, I don't know if I get that. I had a nice time. Thank you might be in there. What's my response if I'm not feeling it?
Mm-hmm.
I get in the car, I talk shit, might call you and be like, I'm never going with that woman again. She was this. Remember the girl with the deodorant, underarm smell? Remember I told you about that one?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that was bad. I just don't go, and then when they be called, they might call and be like, I'll text you when I get home. And I was like, they be like, I made it home. I was like, cool, had a good time. And then after that, they never hear.
Okay, Mo, have you ghosted someone and then ran into them? Story time. Let's go.
Oh, you know what? New Year's Eve, there was a girl in there that was by the bathroom. Yes, I did.
What?
Yeah.
Which is because wasn't Adrian trying to get you to hit on somebody there?
No, not over. This was by the bathroom, at the bar.
There were several girls there.
No, it was this one, because I was like, I seen her when I came back from the bathroom. I was like, oh, shoot. I mean, might have been a few years ago, but I reckon I knew her face. And then when I came back around, I was like, yeah, that is her. Yep.
Did you say hello?
No, I don't think she remembered me. I remember her. Ain't nobody tripping.
Oh my God.
Older women don't trip off that. It's them young girls.
I think too. Like I think that even Zadia, when she gets a little bit older, she would have known that Cam, he not into it. So ghost him. If you ghost first.
Yeah.
So my husband put up here about this black outfit. And I'm not gonna go into detail, but I will tell you guys, we went horseback riding, and this actually goes to my point about Vernisha. So we went horseback riding, and I had on jeans and like a sweatshirt. Again, when you're going on a active date, like on a picnic or something like that, you dress for the occasion. So I had on boots and you know, a sweatshirt and whatever, a shirt and whatever. So we go horseback riding, and then we came back. And I didn't think, honestly, I didn't think I was going to like him as much as I did. We had good conversation, FaceTime and stuff, but I just wasn't in a place where I really wanted to be in a relationship. I was just, I just wasn't really, I wasn't expecting it to be a great date. In fact, I just wasn't expecting it, but we had a great time. And I was like, oh, I kind of like him. Right. So we came back to the house and we were watching TV because he came to pick me up, and then we drove horseback riding, which was like an hour away. So I went and like, you know, kind of washed up and put on a different outfit. Well, okay. I put on a black romper that was like knit. Adrian acted like it was like I put on lingerie, because it was one of those outfits, ladies. Y'all know how it's knit and it kind of hugs your figure, but it wasn't, to me, it wasn't a big deal. I guess it looked a lot different than the jeans and the.
Can you explain to me what a romp? It's like a one piece?
Yeah.
Sounds like easy access to me.
No, but it's a one piece. You can't, it's not, no, it wasn't coming off or anything. It was just, it might have been a little form fitting, but it was really comfortable. It's like one of those cotton comfortable.
So did you do that on purpose or no?
No, I didn't. I really didn't. And later, and I will say this, he didn't even, you know how he didn't even make a response. Like he acted like everything was normal. So we watched TV for a little while. Then he leaves. Later, months and months later, he tells me that when we went on a date, he was kind of like, she's acting funny. He couldn't really see what the body was like. After I went in and changed and he saw the body, and he was like giving himself a high five. But I didn't even know he was thinking that, because he's a mature guy that didn't show it in his face. I didn't know anything about it.
Just because we don't, that's the difference between boys and men. Boys are responding and acting. Men are still thinking it. They're just not responding to it.
I'm appreciate the fact that he was, that he did not make me uncomfortable, because I have gone on a date with, you know, when you date online, you don't know what the person looks like in person. So I remember going to Atlantic Station with this idiot who looked just like you except chocolate. And I told you about that. I told you about that guy. I was like, he looked like you. And he was like, damn, you thick. Yeah. At that point, I'm uncomfortable.
He done ran it away.
I'm uncomfortable, and I don't like it here, and I don't like it at all. I hate that. When a guy says, damn, you are drying up. I'm out. But I will tell you this. So at our wedding, which irritated me to this day, my husband tells a story of how he knew I was his wife when he saw me come back in the black romper. But he made it seem like he's telling this in front of in the wedding ceremony with the pastor. And he's like, yeah, she went back and she came out in this black thing. My mother is sitting on the front row looking at me like, no, you didn't come back in lingerie. And I'm like, stop, cut. It's not that. It was I wanted to be like, it was a romper. It wasn't lingerie, but he made it seem like it was a whole lingerie. It was not. It was literally like something that you wear when you're going to the grocery store. Embarrassed me to death at the wedding. She came back in this black thing. A black thing, everybody, even his best man was like,
what?
What? No. So I don't know. That's not a good story for him, because he embarrassed me. Yeah, a cute romper is so comfortable. It's so comfy. You just slide it on, you know, and my shoulders were out, but everything else was covered up. But, you know, I did not even know that would be something a man would be excited about. It's kind of like,
surprise. You will be surprised. You'd be surprised.
Yeah. But that was, it was loungewear. I felt like I was just at my house, but I also could have like went to the store or something in it. But I did not know that it was going to be brought up at my wedding. I also didn't know it was going to be called. She went in the back and came out wearing this black thing, and everybody was just like,
if a man likes you, even with your face, you can come out in a suit of armor. If he's attracted, he's attracted.
Yeah, I think that. But I also think, like Judy said, less is more. And I think I also have learned that men can tell a shape. They can see a shape through, y'all have like x-ray vision. And it's like, a woman can have on a shirt like this and they'd be like, I see she got some big old titties. Like, how do you see that? I see the weight. They're just, y'all see stuff that we don't see.
Oh, never mind. But yeah, I get it. I get it.
Point is, you don't have to show it for them to know you have it. And I also think it's more special when you show it piece by piece, because like, look how excited he was when we went horseback riding. He didn't see, and then he saw a little bit more of the shape. Then you see a little bit more. Like, I'm not one to believe in showing everything up front, but I respect a woman to do what she wants to do. So, I can see a strong back and shoulders. I can see shoulders. I know I can zero in on if someone has a good set of shoulders. Yep.
I don't know what. Okay.
I'm just saying, could tell the way it feels out their shirt and their sweater, or you could just tell that it just is that's my favorite part on the guys, like the shoulders. Looks like he's a strong person. I like it. What's your favorite thing, Mo?
For real,
for fake.
It changes. I like the waist, not with the thigh, that when they kind of like sit in that area, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
When they sit, the women at hourglass shape at the when they sitting down in the thigh area, between the thigh and the waist. You know what I'm talking about? Their profile.
Okay, all right.
Somebody's in here that I'm not gonna say her name, but I know she's watching, if she's still watching, because she sent me some pictures and she was like, "Is this what you're talking about?" I was like, "That's it."
Oh,
yeah, like the jeans or the thing bunch. I don't want to, but it's in the. Nah, that's gonna look crazy if I do that. But it's an area.
I was definitely gonna screenshot it. I was gonna be like, click, click.
I don't know what they call that part on a woman, but I like that part. That is sexy.
Anything else you like?
Huh?
Anything else you like?
I like different. Let me be real clear. I like different things on different women. You might have something, and I like it better on. You see what I'm saying? I don't believe in that cookie cutter. I like this all across the board.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I like different things on different women. So I don't. You'd be surprised. There's some thin women, some thick women. I like this body part, but I like it better on her. It's different things. So I don't have no cookie cutter way thing that's consistent all across the board. Maybe a pretty face, but outside of that, everything else can vary, man. It's cool.
Yeah, and I think everybody has a different definition even of what a pretty face is.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you tend to like a sharp nose.
Mind your damn business. It happens to be that way. Sometimes I don't know.
He does. I mean, but yeah,
Why? Because
maybe, maybe. Hey, yeah. Mo gives I like toes. He's so particular. That is hilarious.
actually, I'm a hand. I like a nice hand.
Oh my God. Okay, before we get out, last story. Mo,
I don't have a hand fetish.
He's very particular about hands. So there was this girl at this place that he was worked at before, and she was a pretty young lady, but he pulled me to the side and said she has hands that look like Harriet Tubman. And I was like, they look like she's been on an underground railroad. And when I looked at the girl, I didn't want to laugh, but it was such a sharp contrast to the way she looked.
Yeah, I don't like man hands, and I don't like old lady hands on it creep me because they got to touch me. Feet, I'm not tripping on the feet like that. They're gonna be
the fact that you said her hands look like Harriet Tubman hands.
No, it looked like Sissy Tyson's hands and Miss Jane Pittman.
Don't do that. Don't do that to Miss Cicely Tyson now.
Rest in peace, Cicely Tyson.
Don't do that to Cicely Tyson.
They creep me out, but God bless them, man.
But the girl, and they were kind of like, it might have been a little bit of ash on the hands, a wee bit of ash.
Were they not those hands?
They were. They were. And she's a very pretty girl, but she just had
They needed to be moisturized, but
she said, Marriott says the first thing I look at, the veins. I like men that have nice hand. I like a nice hand on a man too. But you know,
what about, because you crack jokes because I get manicures. Is that a bad thing, ladies? Christal posted something and took my music off and put Beyonce music on when I was getting a this is my friend, and this is what she does to me.
I was just teasing him because the problem is they see me tease you, but they don't see you tease me. Okay.
You know why I don't tease you as much, rarely at all, since you've been married, because I don't know how you.
Since I've been married, I'm like, since I've been married, you know. But before I got married, it was.
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, all the time.
It was on and popping. In fact, I had to come back because he was constantly teasing me all the time. So, but yeah, Mo has
manicure and nails. Yes, I do that. That's a fact.
Yeah. Mo, who was your celebrity crush? He has a bunch of them. I'm not gonna.
Years, man, there's been so many.
See.
I like grown women when I was a kid. But I saw a clip that reminded me of my first real big celebrity crush, and it was when Janet Jackson was on Different Strokes as Charlene. Man, I love that woman on Different Strokes. And then it was Lisa Turtle, Lark Voorhees.
Yeah, she's pretty.
It's changed over the years. Right now, you know, I'm a grown man. I mean, you know, it is what it is. But my first grown woman crush was Pam Grier, and then Jane Kennedy. When I was a little boy, I don't know what I was looking at, but I knew I liked it. Yes.
Well, not that anyone asked, but my crush all during my life until recently, and maybe even still, is Mr. Denzel Washington. Yeah. Now, because I feel like your husband...
Denzel, let them know so they can get the...
Mo Better Blues, Denzel.
I knew he was going to say that. Yeah, that's the Denzel.
Mo Better Blues, Denzel. Devil in a Blue Dress, Denzel. Devil in a Blue Dress. If anyone needs a reference point, I would suggest you, if you guys have not watched that movie, I would like you to watch that movie and then come back and share with me. Well, but now that my husband, I feel like my husband, because I also had a crush on Jason Momoa, but I feel like my husband looks better than Jason Momoa, Aquaman. And we are growing out his hair, so pretty soon I have my own Aquaman.
Interesting. Okay.
Devil in a Blue Dress, though, ladies, please thank me later. Thank me later. And, you know, God bless Pauletta because he blessed her. But not it's the obvious default for every woman over 37. On that note, Janera, not that you had to bring age into it. You had to bring age into it. Mo Better Blues, but I'm telling you, watch that one and watch Devil in the Blue Dress. And yeah, and you know what, Janera, young lady, you can turn on Devil in the Blue Dress and learn something. That's what you need to be looking for. That is what you need to be learned. But yeah, Game of Thrones, Jason Momoa is the risk it all. And I'm telling y'all, I am excited. You know, ladies, don't settle till you get what you want. Okay? Just keep picking through. Don't settle. Do not. Because you know what? Some of the guys I went out with that I was like, I'm not that attracted to him. I would look at those guys now and I'd be like, damn, I would have been cutting myself short. Man, look what God blessed me with later. I just had to be patient. And he came through. That's great.
And you better thank the pandemic.
Yes, but I think everybody should get what they want. I'm not saying looks are everything because they're definitely not, but it ain't never hurt. And you know what? Forget about Denzel's age. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about his age. Everybody has to age. Ooh, I actually have a story about Isaiah Washington, but I don't want to get in no trouble. I will just say that I won't say anything, but I do have a story about Isaiah Washington when I was doing an event with him. Sanaa Lathan.
I like her friend too. I like Virginia. I'll take either one.
I agree with you. Denzel is still sexy at 60 plus. Yes. And are y'all calling my husband DJ Khaled? Because if that's so, y'all are being disrespectful on my live.
I don't know where to get that from.
I hope that's not what y'all are saying. I hope that is not what y'all are saying. But no, yeah, then that's just a sexy man. Yeah, he is knocking on 70, but it is okay. And that's what you want. You want a man that's gonna be able to age well. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with it at all. Okay, we should probably get off now. We will be back on Friday. I think Friday it's gonna be a good show. I think Friday we should bring some of the audience up because y'all are so dope in the chat. The chat is always so lit, but we got to have y'all come in on last Friday. We had some good feedback.
We did.
Conjunction. That's our girl now. She got to come on every time. But yeah, I think, Stringer Bell. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Lady Day. But on Friday, I think we should bring some people up after we talk. You guys, let's watch it. Watch it. And then let's talk about it Friday at 10. We're going to get right into it. Take a nap earlier in the day so you can stay up with us, and let's let's get into it because I just feel like there's going to be a lot to dissect. And then remember, we're so excited because next week we're going to start a whole new series, and we're just going to have recaps about various shows. Of course, we're going to start with Ready to Love, but we're going to go back through on Wednesday of next week.
Cast or something?
Say what?
Introduce the cast on Wednesday?
Yeah, we're going to go through the cast. We're going to go through the cast person by person and give you guys our take on the new cast of Ready to Love Fort Worth. So it's going to be we're getting ready to have some good stuff. Make sure that you share. Make sure before you leave this, GG, good night. But before you leave, go ahead and like and share. We're going to have to remind you guys more because we really want to grow the channel and get more people interacting with us. But yeah, we're definitely trying to talk to the guys as well. But get in, like it, and we will see you guys on Friday night at 10 o'clock right here. And maybe we can talk Mo into putting his robe on again. He seemed to like that a lot.
Hey, I might have to because I got to get up early in the morning. Man.
All right, we'll see you guys on Friday. Be safe. Have a blessed rest of your week, and check in with us Friday at 10. We'll see y'all then.
All right, y'all. Good night.